Merry Christmas and welcome to yet another anime review. First, I would like to apologize for my truancy. My intention was to create a bi-weekly series, and then my coursework did to me what 4Kids did to the dubbing of One Piece. So if you're one of the 12 people in the world who actually follow this series loyally, I am sorry. That aside, today we're going to be talking about an anime Christmas special. Now, you may wonder why the Japanese would be having a Christmas special, what with Christianity being a steady 10% of their population. Well, the easy answer is that the Japanese are about as good at hijacking festivals as the Christians are. So traditionally, instead of being a religious or commercial holiday, depending on how cynical you are, the Japanese celebrate it as a romantic holiday. And of course, Santa is button for the little kiddies. This brings us to today's topic, My Santa, done by Ken Akamatsu. The name of Ken Akamatsu might be familiar for you if you know about Love Hina or Negima, as one of the most notable people in the harem genre of anime. My Santa is actually his first published work, being a 40-ish page one-shot that got a 2-episode OAV after it was proven that his work would be popular. So in short, this is a quick, easy cash grab. So buckle yourselves in, this is going to be a riot. The first episode is centered around a crisis of faith. The opening of this, starting with the question, at what age do you stop believing in Santa Claus? This quickly gets cobbled together with the main character for this OAV, whose parents absolutely hated him. You want to know how I know they hated him? His birthday is Christmas Eve, and they named him Santa. Not only that, the only time he's seen his parents is in pictures, and the only time he's heard their voices is when there was a phone between them. For whatever reason, the kid is now an antisocial teenager, though I really don't have any clue how that could have happened, and is stuck spending another Christmas Eve alone. Suddenly, however, a girl by the name of Mai declares that she is Santa Claus and asks Santa if he would like to spend the night with her. The police immediately drag her away on teenage prostitution charges. Bouncing back on the sheer logic that if she wasn't there, there wouldn't be any plot for the OAV, Mai decides to go for the direct route and starts showing him her magical power. Her magical power is to summon anything that starts with the letters S, A, and N, in that order. With her limited powers, all she manages to cook up is trouble, especially when she bumps into a local gang and manages to bust up their cake. Now, it's not so much a gang as it is a freaking army, so I want to know how they expected to have one cake go between them. So Mai immediately starts fighting an entire gang of thugs. It's here that Santa has his window of time to escape this crazy person. Of course, nobody can really leave a girl in that situation and call themselves a man afterwards, so he goes back in and cracks the leader over the head, and they run off again. After a quick shower scene, just because they realized they needed a fan service quota here, Mai insists that she cooks something for Santa, as it is his birthday and Christmas Eve. During this time, Mai gets drunk off of her rear and decides to show him some real magic. In the original manga adaptation, this comes into a parade of amazing luck. Essentially, his parents come back, he wins the yearly lotto, a trip to Hawaii, and randomly a high-end computer drops into his lap. Mind you, this was pre-1994, and this was kind of a big thing. The OAV thankfully just settles for the last item on the list, a phone call from his crush, asking him to come over. Santa is understandably ecstatic, but then Mai ruins everything by explaining about how that was some magic and that wasn't an actual legitimate phone call. Santa refuses to believe her, and then runs off to go and meet his crush, leaving behind a very hurt little Santa Claus. Of course, as the phone call was faked, the girl is kind of surprised to see Santa standing there at a doorway, expecting a date. But on the bright side, hey, all of his friends from school are there and they're having a party. A Christmas/birthday party. For him. That they never thought to invite him to because he clearly had stuff to do with his family. I just feel sorry for this guy. I mean, his story makes Shinji Ikari look privileged. This guy has the worst parents, the worst life, the worst friends, and then he suddenly realizes that at least he has Mai. Mai, who he left in a crying heap after denying her very existence. He suddenly realized how much of a jerk he is and tries to find her. Back where they first met, he manages to find her and gives back some of the magic she loaned him for some luck, and this sparks a magical girl transformation scene, which I'm not going to show you because I am lazy and inept at video editing. I just wanted to comment about how there is actually a magical girlfriend anime, where the magical girlfriend is in fact a magical girl. With Mai now at full power, they set about doing Mai's work. That is, of course, giving presents to all the good little girls and boys. This in fact leads them to an impoverished area, where there happens to be 2 adults who are helping the orphans who have no better place to be. They are, of course, Santa's parents, who choose that time to call him and see how he's doing. Now I'm going to switch for a moment to a still image of a better parent. Okay, now that that's taken care of, I'm going to have to rant a bit here. These 2 are well off enough to support a son in a nice-sized apartment in the middle of what I assume is Tokyo, and spend their time helping an army of orphans. You'd think they'd be able to make one day to see their son out of the year. In the manga version, at least the story is that it's also their honeymoon, and they always go on a trip, so at least there it's just a kid who's bummed that his parents were never there for his birthday. But this is excessive parental abandonment. I mean, I'm no expert in child development, but I'm amazed this guy can form coherent sentences. Also, I'm aware of the Kantian ideal of doing the most good for the most number of people at any time. But honestly, you have to have something wrong with your head to favor anything over your own progeny. That said, Mai being the idealist, tells Santa how he should be proud of his parents for what they've decided to do, and they ride off into the night after a little bit of mush. As they break through the cloud cover, Mai points straight ahead and proclaims that that is the Christmas star, the star that is meant only for them. Except that's the moon. Well, I'm pretty sure that's the moon. Here, I'll zoom in on it.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow.
Yeah, that's totally the moon. We then get an echo of the opening with an affirmation about the existence of Santa, and then the credit sequence. Just as a tag after that, we get the explanation that Mai has lost all of her powers and needs to crash with Santa. This leads into the second episode, which I'm not going to talk much about, because essentially it is the same episode, with the addition of 3 more characters, and the question of how you say goodbye. All in all, I'm a big fan of Ken Akamatsu, and I honestly believe he can do no wrong. But you can tell that this was kind of before he got his own voice, and there was clearly no way to easily stretch this premise beyond about an episode. Doing 2 was pushing it. But if it wasn't going to be one episode, I would have much rather it be a 13, and we could go into a lot of the problems with Santa, because there's a whole lot of problems there that a girlfriend isn't going to solve immediately. That said, I'm going about this the wrong way by overanalyzing it. This is very an OAV that you should sit down with some nice spiked eggnog and do things like drink every time they say Santa. And hey, it's about as ham-fisted as any other Christmas special. So only thing it's very missing is a few musical numbers. My Santa is actually a lot easier to get legitimately than it is to get illegitimately. It is translated by Funimation Entertainment and can be found either on their website or Hulu. And now that I think about it, there's an anime with a character just like Santa. Well, I guess that's a prime choice to start off the new year with. So you can look forward to that at least.
Just believe in Santa Claus, like you believe in love. Just believe in Santa Claus and everything he does. Wipe that question